Hello and welcome once again to the Thrifty Collector. Just have two through the mail returns, but I'm actually going through a bunch of old video games that I have, a lot of NES games, and found some that are your usual $4 to $5 range, and actually found one that it surprises me goes for about $125 to $200. It's actually a sports game, which is kind of very, very odd. So we're going to start with the through the mail returns, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull out the game that I have. The first through the mail return I have is from Columbia, Missouri. And this is actually going back to my Senators that I've been working on, Dennis Higgins. So if you've been following me for a little bit here, I went through a little span of where I was sending out a lot of Washington Senators cards. I think it's real cool that they're not around anymore. They later became, of course, the Texas Rangers. But here is Dennis Higgins. This is, of course, my favorite year card, the 69. If you notice, there's a, and this kind of shows me backwards, but it looks like that there's a palm tree behind there. So this was probably taken at spring training in the beginning of the season in 1969. But real good set I'm working on, 1963 tops. I have a lot of doubles. If any of you out there are working on the set and might have some that I'm looking for, please send me a message. But Dennis Higgins, 1969 tops, Washington Senators. And then the next card is his 1967 card with the Chicago White Sox. Just another good card, which kind of looks like, it's kind of interesting. I didn't notice that before. No, okay. But just another one there. Always like these kind of cards that have something in the background. It's kind of unique. Looks like, once again, that was probably also done at a spring training. Just because if you look at the background, there's not really a stadium. It's just a fence with some trees. This is, of course, long before you had all these autograph hounds hitting them up at spring training. So they were able to do something like that, just put a little fence up. But 1967, Dennis Higgins. The next one I have is his 1970 card right there with the Cleveland Indians. So if you can tell, he was kind of a journeyman. Looks like he did some time with the White Sox, the Washington Senators, and then the Chicago White Sox. This is 1970 card. The next one I have is from Columbia, South Carolina. And this is 1981 Flair, Jeff Twitty. I have quite a few of the 70 or 81 cards, and always thought it was kind of cool. It was just one of them things where you looked at those kind of cards when they first came out, and you were like, "Oh, that's pretty awesome that there's somebody besides Topps out there." So. Somebody besides Topps, Jeff Twitty's a real good signer. Didn't play too long in the big leagues. Didn't have that many cards. Sorry, my cat, of course, always wants to jump up. Actually, that was his only card, the 1981 Flair. So this happens when you go live. For some reason, Facebook won't let me actually record this and edit it. I guess I got to figure something out how to do that. But Twitty, he only had the 1981 card, and I'm looking. He only played on the 1980 Kansas City Royals, so he played 1 year, which is kind of unique. I always think that's kind of cool. That guy has one card, played only 1 year. He played 13 games, probably in relief because he had a 2-1 record, 0 saves, and so and he was actually kind of young. He was only 23 at the time. But I got that. I did send him 2 cards. So I'm sure I probably sent him one to keep. So pretty nice card. Kind of nice him to sign. I'm sure he probably gets a kick out of people sending him cards. Now, the NES game that I was talking about that's it's kind of a rarer one is this right here, Pro Sports Hockey. Did not know that this was a rare one. I kind of broke up the NES. I probably have about 150 left, and I broke up a bunch of them. If they went for about $10 or less with including shipping, I'm probably just going to put them on Marketplace and put them in lots. But yeah, for some reason, it was probably, my guess, a late edition. Probably the Super Nintendo had already been out, and somebody put this out, and nobody bought it because everybody was buying the Super Nintendo games. So usually they were quite limited in the ones that they put out. So there we go. There goes my setup. So yes, Pro Sports Hockey. So if you see this one at a thrift store or at a yard sale, pick this one up. It's not your typical NES sports game or any kind of sports game. Goes far more than the Tecmo Super Bowl. So that used to be the big one that I always thought it was until I found this one in my collection. So thank you for letting me share. Everybody have a great night and take care and always stay thrifty. Have a great night.